Welcome to another edition of Len's Burning Bush. I am Len Harvey. Before I bring on my guest for the week, I want to talk about what's really burning my bush. So iPhone's going to release their latest phone next month. Samsung has a new 5G, Google, Motorola. There are many other phone brands that you can purchase. They all have 3 cameras, 5G, fast data. It can do more than your computer could do back 10 years ago in just the palm of your hand. You know, beautiful 4K resolution. Samsung releasing the Galaxy S21 with a 6.2-inch FHD, whatever that is, and flat display. Apple's going to have the iPhone 13. All of these are wonderful. They are wonderful features, but they are forgetting something. They are forgetting what was originally intended to be able to do. Yes, make a phone call. Have you ever tried to make a phone call on one of these devices? It cuts out. You have to be like the Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Alexander Graham Bell is credited with inventing and patenting the first practical telephone. And he also co-founded AT&T, American Telephone and Telegraph Company, because you know I hate acronyms, in 1885. Yes, 1885. And he's probably rolling around in his grave as we speak, as the quality of the phone calls in 1885 might have actually been better. We need to go back to the future with Doc and go back to 1885. Hell, 2 cans and a string might have been better or might be better as we speak. Now, I do understand there's a bigger problem to this. No one wants to use the phone anymore. They don't want to call anymore. They would rather text, and most of you just click the ignore button when I call now. And then you get a text that says, this is what I love. You get a text that says, hey, saw you called. What's up? I almost want to text back and say, if you had just answered your phone, you would know what's up. Am I the only one that actually still likes to talk on the phone? Even at work now. Everyone wants to text. They want to send you that instant message, annoying on your computer screen. They want to send you an email rather than talk to you face to face, and you go back and forth in what seems to be an eternity. And you could have just spoken to them directly and solved the problem within minutes. We waste more time with this nonsense. And I know I am in the minority, but I want to be able to make and receive calls. It's easier for me than texting. What if you're driving, right? I know you have the voice-activated stuff, so don't even hit me with that. I know it works, but not all the time. Some people's accents are worse than others, and mine sometimes they don't. Siri doesn't hear me the way I'd like her to hear me. But, you know, hit the answer button once in a while instead of ignore. Try that for a change. How about that? It's not that hard. Now, of course, I'm going out today and getting a new iPhone to replace my older version 8 so that I can now bitch about how much worse that phone is to make a call on. With that being said, it's time to bring on my guest for the week. She is a radio legend in New York. She's also co-host the podcast Vet Sounds with Dr. Mac. Her bio has an interesting quote from Billy Joel. Even the band must face the music. Coming on the show for the second time, she was on last year for the hashtag Don't Rush My Summer episode last August. Please welcome the very lovely Linda G., Linda Guerrera, Linda Francis, Linda whatever, but Linda, welcome to Len's Burning Bush.
Well, hi, Len.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Now, as we speak, we're doing a FaceTime call on these beautiful devices that we call, but we can't make a phone call, right?
Which I love this. I think this is so cool. The FaceTime thing.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It really is awesome.
This is part of the technology that I actually like, but
yeah.
The point I'm trying to make, you could do all these things on these phones now. You've got 3 cameras. You've got all these things. They take the best pictures. They've got movie. You can edit. You can everything,
and
right?
You can watch cat videos.
I know.
On a dime.
But
right?
try making a telephone call, right?
Honestly, I have to agree with you here. Because I have an aunt. She is she's the last living relative of that generation, and I like to keep in touch with her. The problem is that I live in Bethel, Connecticut. I work in Reading, Connecticut. I take back roads to get to work, right? And it's a lovely ride every morning. I actually look forward to this ride. It's beautiful. Past a brook, I go up a mountain, down a mountain, the whole bit. It's beautiful, right? But for those 20 minutes, either going or coming home, I think of her, and I would love to call her. Do you know how many times I've tried it? Several times. This is what happens. Linda, Oh, she can't hear me. Linda, Linda. And I'm like, oh my God, my poor 86-year-old aunt. I'm driving her crazy. And it's terrible. So what happens? I don't call her, and then what happens? I get to work, I can't call her. I come home, I can't call her. I'm busy. I'm doing whatever, right? So I don't get to talk to her. So this wonderful piece of technology that I should be connecting with all my friends and family with, I
Yeah.
can't
You,
talk to
you,
my Aunt Dee Dee.
I know. And, would think what's interesting is my first cellular telephone was in 1993. I had a Blaupunk 1-watt cellular phone. Now, this thing was better than the
Big
cordless phone.
antenna.
Yeah. It was
The brick, right?
It was,
They call it the brick.
well, it wasn't a brick. It was actually, I got it, it was a little smaller. It was not as big as the other phones, but it had an antenna. And it was a 1-watt cellular phone. Blaupunk didn't make many cellular phones. They were more of a stereo company. But they made a phone back in the early 90s. I don't know. You have to look it up. But this phone, it was better than your cordless phone in your house. Like, you would have better reception from this phone. So that was 1993. So we have the technology. It's like the scene from $6 Million Man. We have the technology. We can make him better than he was. You would think that the call feature would be better.
You would think.
No, it's worse. It's worse.
I think maybe the problem is too, though, where I drive to go to work. This is like kind of like a little bit of an affluent area in the back roads here, and they did the cell towers. They just, not in my backyard. So, and that's a big problem.
Well, I don't know, but it used to be you had a phone in your house and you'd never have to say, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Well,
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?" What?
Oh, you want to hear something great? So listen to this. I was trying to think now. When were we out of power for 5 days? Because it's always fun here.
Yeah, lovely.
That happens quite a bit. And so we're out of power for 5 days or whatever. We do have a generator. It decides to power whatever it wants to power. I don't know. But so I don't have a phone. There was no cell service at the time either. So now I don't have a phone. I don't have a radio. Nothing is working. Nothing. No nothing.
Oh my
okay?
God. Life you're Amish. It's over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, what happened? All right. So we're sitting here and I'm like, well, what happens if I have to make an emergency call? What happens if a bear comes into my house? Well, I don't know. What do we do? What do we do if we have an emergency?
You don't have
a
phone.
So when this was all over, I called AT&T and I said, so yeah, I want a landline in my house. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. We can do that and blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the clicker on about that. There is no landlines anymore. No more landlines. It's all internet based.
Yes.
So I said, well, wait a minute. I asked you for a landline. That being internet based is not a landline. Well, that's the way it is now.
No, people don't understand that. If you have no power, none of this works.
Nothing. Even your so-called landline. So we have I don't even know what my phone number is. I have no idea.
Right.
No idea. So when it rings, I'm like, I don't know who that is because I don't even know my number. So who the hell's calling me?
Right. Somebody about your car warranty.
It's my car warranty. Exactly.
Expired.
So I just,
No, it's crazy. I think
crazy.
I have said this, and I did an episode a couple weeks ago when I talk about how things I think are going backwards. I always, you brought up the fact that you're sitting there with no power and no internet, whatever. So explain to me something. As with Amazon and all these companies that can deliver stuff, and they do a nice job with that, although lately things are having issues shipping, right? But what I have a problem with, if they get rid of the brick and mortar stores, like eventually seems to happen, although I think the little mom and pop stores might start popping up more and more, right? I do believe that. I think
which would be wonderful.
It would be wonderful. But I think what the biggest problem is, which people don't understand, and everybody who orders on Amazon, it's kind of funny when you'll see on your neighborhood page, didn't get my package. Did you guys get a package? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, people are so accustomed to these packages now that you get them and you just put them in the garage. You don't even know if they're for you because you don't even know what the hell you ordered.
Exactly.
You don't even know anymore what you ordered, right?
Exactly.
So the problem I have with all of this is that what happens, I brought this up before, what happens on a Saturday, right? You're sitting here, we're trying to do the podcast, it's a Saturday, I have no internet, right? And the reason I have no internet is because my router is just kind of went crazy. It won't work anymore. So what do I do now? I'm on a Saturday. First of all, they'll tell you, well, we'll just order it. It'll come. Okay, how am I ordering it if I don't have internet. Okay,
It's
in the
like
house.
Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Just build it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you build it, they will come.
They will come.
And everybody says, well, you could use your phone and you can order it. Okay. All right, I'll do that. I'll use the data on my cellular phone. Okay.
Right.
So now I order it. Okay. They're not bringing it Sunday. They might not even bring it Monday.
They might not.
It depends on the area you're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now
It
am I going to wait in my house until Tuesday to have no internet? I don't think so.
Exactly.
So we're going backwards when I could go to
backwards.
Best Buy. I could sit there, go in, pick up the router, come home in an hour, I'm back up and running.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, we're going backwards. I think, Doc Brown and Doc Brown and Marty going back to 1885. I think you know what? We need to try the phone. It's
that's a good idea.
Yeah, we need to try the phone, see if the reception is better, and I will guarantee you that it is. Because
you know what? It's funny. That complete point that you bring up is 100% 100% valid. Because that's another thing. That's a whole show that you can do too. Because you're probably like me. I don't like when people say, "Oh, 150%."
Yeah, no, there's no more than 100. Yeah.
Right. So 100%. I totally agree with you on that because we are going backwards. We are.
Yeah. No, there's certain things.
Is it true that Amazon is thinking of putting up brick and mortar stores? Like, I heard that, and I'm like,
I don't know, but they had bought Whole Foods, and they're trying to bring that into the technology age. But where you order everything. But again, I don't know. I don't like the grocery store click list. I don't like that because you never get you'll get a text or they don't call you, they text you. Sir, we substituted something for your Skippy peanut butter. Yeah. And I'm getting the store brand. And I'm thinking to myself going, I wanted what I want, and now you're switching it on me. And by the time I get the order, I don't get the things that I want. So why am I doing this?
Right. I could just drive to the store and pick out what I want.
It's the epitome of laziness is what it is.
It totally is. And you know what? Most people, I have to say, like nowadays, like a lot of people, that's your only exercise.
Yeah.
Is going to the supermarket, walking around the aisle. So why not put your steps in there? On your Apple Watch, you can count your steps going up and down frozen foods.
No, it's true. And you go. What I hate too is if you actually do go to the store, which I like to do. I actually like going to stores.
Me too.
I like going to Macy's, and I like going to other stores and buy things. Okay, but what I hate when you go to these stores, this is absolutely a lens burning bush item. I cannot stand when you go there and they tell you they don't have a product. Oh, but you can order it online.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself going, if I'm going to order it online, what the hell do I need you for?
Right. Why do I need you? I'm here.
I am not, there's a reason why I came here. I don't want to order it online.
I don't want to order it. I'm here. I wanted to touch it. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. I don't want a picture. And you know what? And then the phone rings behind the counter and they pick, just give me a minute. And the person, oh, can I help? Oh, yeah. Okay. And now they go and they help that person. Well, wait a minute. That person is sitting at home. I got in my car, drove all the way here. I'm standing in front of you. And wait, how does this happen?
I know. So, funny story for you. Now that we're talking about this because the technology, it's good and bad, right? The fact that we can't make a phone call, right? That was my rant today. But the other rant is, I'm sitting. It's a Saturday at my pool, right? We've got friends over, and we wanted White Castles, which we love. A crave case when you're having a few cocktails is great.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we started to think how we're getting this crave case delivered because we didn't want to get out and get it, right?
Right.
So I was like, I've got this Uber Eats app.
Uber Eats.
Yeah, Uber Eats. I get free, monthly Uber Eats for my credit card, right? So, and I would say I'm not saying I'm a tech nerd, but I am certainly more technical than most. I am not completely technical. There's a lot of things I don't get or I don't even want to try.
Right.
But the Uber Eats, I figured I did it once, and it's okay. Like they bring the food to you and they tell you when it's coming. It's kind of like the Uber drivers, right? But this is the problem. By the time you get through the menu and you figure out what you actually want, you could have actually gone to the damn White Castles. So we did. We just said the hell with it. We said
The hell
this
with
is
it.
too complicated.
It's too complicated.
It is. It is. It
Yeah,
is. It's
like
supposed to be easier.
Starbucks is the same thing.
It's a,
Starbucks is the same exact thing. Oh, here, place your order, and then by the time you get
yeah.
here, it'll be, and you're looking at it, and it's like, I can't even tell you how many times I've done this where I'm like, okay, well, I want what I want, and it's not a complicated thing. Maybe that's my problem, because the more complicated, the better with Starbucks. But I'm like, I want what I want. I can't, you know what? The hell with it. I'll just stand in line and I'll order it then. What difference does it make? I got to drive there anyway.
You do.
So,
yeah.
What difference does it make?
It makes no sense. Just like the click list thing doesn't make sense because I'd rather have it delivered then. Like, why am I going there to be disappointed? That's basically what it is. You kind of wait in line and you get disappointed. Now, here's another thing that I do. Okay, I order from like Beyond Menu. There's a Chinese restaurant that I love. I order from Beyond Menu because that's how they want you to order it, right? You instead of you can call it in, but it's nice to be able to order it that way sometimes.
Yeah.
And I also do like there's a pizza app. So I use that. So I want you to know that I am embracing some technology. I'm not
Good
a total
for you,
I am not a total
Good for you.
yeah, I'm not the curmudgeon. I'm not get off my lawn. I'm not that bad. I'm bad, but I'm not that bad. But anyway,
You have a few years for that. That's all right.
this is what I found to be useful. The repeated order. When you put it in once,
Right.
you can order it again. But the problem is if you need to make a change to that order, oh God.
Forget about it.
I'm done. Give me the same friggin' order. That's what I want. The same order. Because otherwise, you got to sit there. It takes you 20 minutes to make a change on this. And I'm sitting there going, what am I doing? I could have
Don't
just.
make me laugh.
Again, it comes back to I could just pick up the damn phone. And by the time I do this, I actually have done that. Even T-Mobile, okay? I'm trying to get a new phone. And you could go on to the app and you could just order it, right?
Yep.
But the problem is I want to know, okay, it tells you get a credit X.
Right.
But
I've
then
actually done this. So
I know exactly. And I've done it before too, but you get credit X and then you also get what the special is.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to figure it out, but it doesn't tell you that until the very end. So you go through it and you're only getting like say $300 credit, but you should be getting $760.
Right.
And you don't know if that's a mistake. At this point, I'm driving to the damn store. Like I'm done. I don't understand. They make things more complicated.
They
everything.
do.
I'll order it online. Make sure you use our website. And then, of course, it's the proverbial, how did we do? The
How
survey.
did we do?
You know
Oh,
how you
love
did?
those.
You pissed me the heck off. That's
You
what you
don't
did.
want to know
No.
what I'm thinking.
No.
You really don't want this survey. Here's a problem, though. I had an issue with my phone. It got a little wet, but it's an iPhone 10. I thought they were, and like I'm so careful with my phone, I really am. But it got a little wet. I didn't drop it in a pool or anything like that. It was like.
All right, Linda, you back? I don't know
I'm
if we lost you, but you were talking about your story, and we might have, hopefully it's back and we're better than ever. But let's see.
Okay, where do you want me to pick up from?
Just start from the beginning. The whole story.
I have an iPhone. It's a 10XS Max. Yeah, that's what it's called. Okay, so it's the big one, and it's a 10. It's supposed to be waterproof. Okay, I mean water resistant, not waterproof. All right. Now I don't go swimming with it. I don't put it in my pool. I didn't drop it that way. I was working on my patio, left it outside. It was raining. I remembered right away, went out, picked it up. Phone's acting really weird. I don't know how that happened, but whatever. So I go to the T-Mobile store. And they told me one story about, oh well, you can, I don't want to get another phone. I'm this one's okay right now. I'm just paying it off. I don't want, So okay, so I leave. Phone's actually getting better day by day. Okay, I go to another T-Mobile store, and they told me a whole different story. I went back to the first store that I went to. She told me another story, and then said, well, you know what? You should just order it online.
What do I need you for?
And I went, wait a minute. Wait, what? I went online. I came here. I went there. I came back here. And now you're telling me to go home and go online and order it.
Yeah. It's amazing how much we just do this kind of stuff. And it makes me crazy.
I don't understand.
Speaking of not understanding, I have to bring this story up because I think we have gotten way out of control with. I brought up this a while ago about gender reveal parties and weddings and everything is all, they got to have this proposal videos and all these craziness. But so weddings in general, I think I'm going to be honest with you, they're pretty much a waste of money.
I was just going to say.
All right. So I don't mean to be mean, but it is. You could buy a small condo in Boca for the amount of money you spend on this nonsense. So I saw a story, and I don't know if you saw this, but this is the typical things of what is going on in society. And there is a couple that got married, and they had a big wedding reception, and their people did not respond to the RSVP, or they did, and they didn't show. They did a no call, no show, basically.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So they sent these people, they sent a bill of $240 because they did, and they basically, they said that because they didn't show up, they sent an invoice. Now, the wedding that they went to, the Royalton Negril Resort and Spa wedding in Jamaica, apparently cost $120 a head. Who's friggin' fault? I mean, bottom line isn't that your fault?
Yeah, exactly.
So I bring up this point because I have been to a wedding, and sad to say, on the top of the World Trade Center at Windows on the World, which is no longer.
Yeah.
I have been to a wedding at a VFW house. You know what, Linda? I don't care either way. I give you the same gift. I'm writing the same check, whether it's one or the other. I don't care how much you spent on the wedding. That doesn't.
Right.
How does that affect me? Do you want me to come to the wedding, or you want me to give you a gift? I'd rather them say up front, we rather have you just send the check.
Yeah, there you go.
Because, you spend all this money on the booze, the liquor. I mean, you spend the money on the food. You're wearing the dress. It's an utter.
The dress itself is
thousands
crazy.
of wasted dollars of pictures that you never look at. I'm married 26 years. I can't tell you on my fingers on my hand how many times I've actually looked at the wedding album.
There we go.
So what does that tell you? You waste all this money. First of all, 60% of all marriages end in divorce anyway. Mm-hmm. So what are we really doing here? Why have the big party? You could have a party at your house and get married at the Justice of the Peace or whatever, or now you can just kind of have a friend of mine's a Reverend Dude from the Dude of whatever, the Dude, Reverend Dude. So that you could do, right? But $240 for this, and the mystery couple is of Chicago. The Post, the New York Post, put this article in. Leave it to the Post, but there are people that are upset at this, and I don't blame them. I'm like, why are you sending them a bill for $240? They didn't show up. Now, I think it's a huge problem that people that say they're coming and they don't come.
Yes, that is.
But of course, there's reasons why people don't come to your wedding.
Right. Yeah.
And you know what? I really believe that if you're really intended on having all these people and spending this money, then you got to expect for some no calls, no shows. That's gonna happen. $240 you're not getting from me. That's the way it works. Right.
Oh, wow, that's incredible that they had brass ones to send a bill. That's hilarious.
This is what's happening. I think we weddings, we go extravagant with everything now.
Yeah, it's over the top.
Too much over the top.
It is.
So speaking of over the top a little bit, now we all know that especially with the heat and humidity,
I'm doing
over the top. I love it. We all know with the heat and humidity, it gets a little much, and you get a little perspiring, let's say, a little sweaty, right?
Well, guys do, not girls.
Yeah, no,
you sparkle.
Girl, you sparkle, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we use some product to help, right? We use a little deodorant.
Yeah.
We think, right? That seems to be the case, but there are people that do not use deodorant, and Lizzo, who apparently has come out. She and Matthew McConaughey are now people who do not use deodorant. So, McConaughey famously gave up deodorant 35 years ago, said he hadn't worn deodorant in 20 years. And Lizzo said that she stopped using deodorant, and get this, she says she smells better. So, explain something to me. It's kind of like the cat food that says new and improved flavor. How do you know it tastes better? Are you tasting the cat food? Are you getting? Are you getting the? Are you smelling the person? Are you smelling yourself? Because you can't smell yourself.
No, you can't.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure. According to this, your body might develop a resistance to deodorant. So this is why people don't. They stop using it because eventually it doesn't work as well. But I just found it interesting.
Wow.
So
wow.
that is an interesting
They have a
story.
lot of friends. I wouldn't even know.
No,
McConaughey.
Yeah, I mean they do. I don't understand. It may not be a bad idea to give your body a deodorant break, Lizzo says, especially if you're still sheltering in place, and you can now do that. So with Lizzo's seal of approval, I think you need to put the deodorant on. Okay, we don't want to smell you,
No,
especially on the subway.
That's just gross. Because I know, like even in the car, we've talked about my allergies before. I'm in the car and I'll cough, and I cover my mouth in the car. Who's around me? It's just, you want to have a little class, and that you want to maintain that all the time, right? So come on.
Absolutely.
She's
just
gross.
the things that these are the things that get me excited. I mean, my heart rate's going up. It's just there's too much. There's too much ignorance.
Are you tracking it on your Apple Watch?
Yeah, I get every once in a while. I get like your heart rate has gone over 120 with the technology that we can't make a phone call on. But
right, exactly.
One good thing that is happening right now for me. Okay, this I just saw this today, and I'm very excited. Apparently, Entourage is going to have a reboot.
Oh.
Doug Ellen is talking about this, but there's a problem. We need Marky Mark to get on board and call HBO. Mark Wahlberg is not in yet.
I don't know. He's kind of big for that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think it's a great show. He did a great job producing. He needs to call HBO because right now you got Adrian Grenier, Jeremy Piven, Kevin Conley, Kevin Dillon, and Jerry Ferrara have all said, "Yep, I'm in."
Wow.
Let's do it. And Ellen's got some good storyline. I don't know if you've ever watched Entourage, but it reminds me, I did an episode with my childhood friends called Back in the Day, in the early stages of Len's Burning Bush, with my childhood friends from North Bergen, New Jersey. And one of my friends, George Coronado, was basically the character Adrian Grenier played. It was
really
because he was always the guy we would follow around, and
That's
whatever. And he would have been the guy that went to Hollywood and made it. Yeah, that was. Okay. And we had friends that were all like that. We were all. I was the Kevin.
He's even got the name. What's his name? George Cordero.
George Coronado.
Wow, that's a Hollywood name.
Absolutely, he would have been a fabulous movie star. He's a broker now, but he's a good friend of mine. And he that whole show is based in New York, based in Brooklyn. I was based in Jersey, but it's a kind of the same thing. And I was really the Kevin Conley character, which was the one that took care of things. Like I was the one. That was my character. Yeah. So I relate to Entourage, and I am excited because I think that's a show that let's hug it out and let's get it back on the air.
That's a real guy show, though. That's a real like bromance whole. Yeah,
it is. But I did bring up that Sex and the City was coming back too, so I'm not opposed to these type of things. I can go either way.
See, now that show to me, and it's really funny that you bring that up because that's one of my all-time favorites. And whenever, like my husband will come home and he'll look at me and go, "Oh, what's the matter? You don't feel well today?" Because I'll have an episode on. It's like my go-to. If I don't feel well, it's like my cup of hot cocoa.
Oh.
I put on an episode and I just sit here and I watch Carrie and Charlotte and Miranda and Samantha.
How do you feel about Samantha not being in the reboot, though?
What I find amazing about that show is that Kim Cattrall, who plays Samantha, and Sarah Jessica Parker, who played Carrie, of course, they did not get along. They did not like each other.
Wow.
And yet, if you watch the show and know that, and with a critical eye, and you know us because we're in the biz, right? And you cannot tell. They look like they are buds on screen, off screen. They just look, it's amazing. So they're very, very good acting. Very, very good acting.
Yeah, it's tremendous. And I enjoyed both shows, and HBO does a good job. So I have HBO Max. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the new Soprano movie coming out in October. Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff happening.
I miss him.
And I miss
James.
Yeah, I do too. I love how you brought up the fact of we've been in the business, and as a celebrity like you are, Linda, I
Yeah.
wanted to bring up a story that I thought of you immediately when I saw. Okay, as a celebrity, I read an article that
I'm
apparently
scared now.
Garth Brooks.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
Garth Brooks was on Midland's Set It Straight podcast. He talked about signing autographs for 23 hours in one day. You believe that? Back in 1996, this had happened.
I do.
So it's kind of interesting. But he said a crowd swirled around Brooks, who stayed and signed autographs for 23 hours and 10 minutes without a break.
Yeah.
And
that's who he is.
Yeah.
And I totally believe that 100%. And I believe that he sat there and was grateful and spewing gratitude from the first to the middle person to the very last person 23 hours later, gracious the whole time, because that's who he is. When I interviewed him 3 times, and the second time I interviewed him, it was a 2-month span. He remembered me, and I was like, "What?" Because
Wow.
here I am sitting there with CNN, ESPN, Entertainment Tonight, like all the big New York New York City radio stations. All the big ones were there, and me, Little Kicks 105.5, Town Square Media, and he remembered me.
Wow.
And he it's not like, oh yeah, I remember you. He details of what we talked about, and the Billy Joel concert that I had gone to, and that I was there with my friend, and all these little details. So this is the kind of person he is. He just when I was talking with him, there was like not 1 ounce of that. You get a little bit of that adrenaline, and you're like a little nervous. Nothing, because I felt like I was talking to like my best bud.
Wow, look at
He's
you.
He's just awesome.
Hobnobbing
Awesome
with the
guy.
Goober Smoochers. You and
No,
Garth
yeah,
Brooks, and
well,
Garth
no,
remembers you. But how do you forget
just-
Linda, though? You
I
cannot.
come on.
You're,
Come on.
you're wonderful.
Come
I miss
on.
I miss talking to you regularly. This is
Me
so much
too.
fun to do this, but we need to do it a
Yes.
little bit more. And
I agree.
we need to find out how you're doing your podcast thing, and it's going to come out again.
Yeah.
Vet Sounds. Give me a little bit on Vet Sounds and what you're gonna, when it's gonna come back and how it works and how people can consume the Vet Sounds podcast. Okay.
Thanks. Yeah. Well, we're revamping, and it's going to be called. We have a different name as well. We're calling it. It's like a thing. I always have to think about it because it's almost, because once you got it, and then you know what I mean. So it's Vet Pet Cast. Vet Pet Cast is
Vet
what it's,
Pet Cast. Okay.
Vet Pet Cast.
All
So,
right.
and basically what it is, just like what Vet Sounds was, it's just my very good friend. He's like a brother to me, which is what makes it fun, because we have that kind of relationship, like I could say anything I want to him, and I feel it's not like it's not one of those sidekick things. I bust his chops throughout the whole show, and then I take care of it later in editing as well. If he's like,
Yeah.
So it's like I do all these little edits on our YouTube channel I'll take the whole episode, which used to be an hour, 2 hours. We're going to scale it down to an hour. So pretty much what it is he's a wonderful veterinarian. He owns a big hospital here in Bethel, Connecticut, and it's his knowledge and his veterinary nerdiness, along with me. I was a vet tech for 10 years, so, as you know, because your lovely wife is, and Susan and I have bonded many times over our more times than you and I too, which is weird.
I know.
Because that's how I know her, is through you.
Exactly.
But and so we've so it's all about that. It's all about pretty much what we want to do is bring some veterinary knowledge to just regular people who just need some questions answered, and do it in a fun, light way, a funny way, just a way that is not like, oh my God, this feels like veterinary 101 and I'm not interested, not like that. So it's fun. It's lighthearted. He tells some his stupid jokes, and we get through that, and we laugh, and it's fun. And in the end, if people know a little bit more about their animals and how to treat them and how to properly care for them, then we've done our job, and that's really what we're looking for. So that, and it should be coming again soon. We stopped for a little bit. We had 6 months of it, and now we know what works, what doesn't work, what people really want, and that's what we're trying to really mold into something even better for the next relaunch. So that should be coming soon.
Well, that's wonderful, and the fact that you're on it's got to be good. Although I think you might want to do a second podcast with Garth Brooks. Maybe you can get him to do that with you. Remember the story about Billy Joel?
The funny thing is that he's got the G network, so it just makes sense, right? Linda G, Garth Brooks, come on.
Linda G.
G and G, it's like serendipity, right?
Serendipity, and I have to end the show on not a happy note. We lost Charlie Watts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a drummer from Rolling Stones died this past week, and just a sad thing. Everybody came out and said how great Charlie is and was, and it's a shame. The Rolling Stones. It's funny. I hate to bring this up, but Keith Richards just remains. He just.
Well, it's funny how you say that too. My husband is a drummer, and Rich's birthday was Tuesday, and that's when Charlie Watts died. And he came home, and I didn't want to say anything to him all day, although I knew he would know. And he came home, and I said, "Happy birthday!" And he says, "Thanks." And he goes, "Charlie Watts had to die on my birthday."
Yeah.
So it was like,
hey,
he loves.
It's
Charlie
all
Watts.
About Rich. Come on.
Well, you know what it is? He loves Charlie Watts.
Yeah.
He took it personal. It was like, so how I have to remember my birthday. Charlie Watts died,
Yeah.
But the thing about Charlie Watts, which is really cool, is that I just saw a quote by somebody who said, another drummer, and forgive me, I just forget the drummer's name. Rich would know because but he said, Charlie made it look so easy. And then when you looked at really what he was doing, the brilliance of Charlie Watts then really showed.
Yeah.
But he made it look so simple that you thought he was doing a lot of simple stuff. But he was actually a genius and just a brilliant performer. And he was the sound. He was the backbeat of the Rolling Stones. Come on, right?
Absolutely. Well, it's a shame because I think they were still trying to tour and stuff like that. So I guess that's going to be a problem to replace the replacing.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Sad way to end it, Linda. You are tremendous. I love having you on. We could talk for 3 hours. I don't even know if people would care, but I care.
I care too. And you know what? I didn't even mean to do this, but you can see it because you can see me. But your hat, you have your Yankee hat on. I have my Yankee mug.
Hey, as of this episode airing, we're 13 in a row, so we kind of like that. But it was funny. I went to the game, the Orioles and Yankees in Yankee Stadium, and it was they lost.
With your son, with Steven.
Yeah, they lost the game, and what was funny about that is that was against the Orioles, and the Orioles lost 19 in a row after that.
Yeah.
It's like, could you not? I mean, and it was funny. We landed the plane the next night. We got home. And we turned on the radio in the car. I turned on Sirius because I get the Yankee game. And they were up 9-0. And the night before, they had 3 hits. They only got 1 run.
You couldn't have used some of those the night before.
Please help me. Help me.
Well, go Luke Voigt. I got my Luke Voigt jersey for my birthday. So
I'm happy. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Well,
Luke.
Linda, thank you. And now you can like Len's Burning Bush on Facebook, at Len's Burning Bush. So please go ahead and do that. And follow at Len's Burning Bush on Twitter. We have a YouTube channel now where it's Len Harvey, and you can do this hashtag Len's Burning Bush. It's, I think, Lenny L 1015 on YouTube. Please subscribe to that. Click the link or whatever, and do all the things that you're supposed to do with the bell. And I don't even know what that is.
All that stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. But you can listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, iHeartRadio. Tune in. Ask Alexa even to play Len's Burning Bush. We're on Stitcher and Pandora. Bunch of states, countries are listening. I would like it to be more. We got to figure out how we make this even better. But I keep doing it every week. This is episode number 73. 73 straight weeks of Len's Burning Bush. I don't know if people can handle it.
Wow. Well, I was on 17 and 73 now, so I got to go play those numbers.
17. So episode 17, make sure you go back and listen to hashtag Don't Rush My Summer, one of my favorite episodes, because I really hate that people rush everything.
Yeah.
As we get winding down here with the pumpkin shit. and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, it's ridiculous. We
And
still have a
apologies
month of
for the
summer to
language.
go.
Yeah.
Hello. We have a month to go. September 21st.
I
Come
know,
on.
but they're already starting with the
No, no,
Oktoberfest
no.
and yeah.
Don't rush my summer.
Exactly. Well, don't rush my summer, Linda. Thank you so much.
Love you, Len.
Love you too, and we'll look forward to seeing you again. Thanks to Linda G. I'm Len Harvey, back with another episode of Len's Burning Bush next week. So long.